the channel. All right, so I know you guys like these stories. So what comes in first is a BMW. Actually, no, let's talk about this one first. The first one is a Mercedes S550. All right, this guy caught me totally off guard, and I'm driving the X5M. Those of you who are new to the channel, my X5 is tuned. So that means like I have power upgrade at stage 1. So instead of the 567 horsepower at the the crank, I'm probably pushing another 100. So I would say probably 660 or so with the stage 1. Like I said, this is a rough estimate. I don't know for sure, but there is a significant power boost with the stage 1 tune. All right, so anyway, I'm coming back home from work, and I have my cruise control set, listening to music, and this Mercedes just comes up on my bumper, and I'm like, all right, so move over. And I wasn't holding up the left lane. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't holding up the left lane. I move over. I hate people that to me, so I try to make sure if someone comes up faster, just give the same courtesy. But this guy, the way he passed me, just boom, just nailed the gas. I was like, all right. So I jumped on it too. And when I did not pick him back up like I thought it would. It took me a second. Now I'm kind of nervous, like, all right, what happened here? Cause I saw him coming up, and I thought, look at this guy, he gonna try to slingshot me like that real quick. And he must have anticipated me doing that. So we were messing around, and anyway, he slowed down. He wants to do I'm guessing a run. And like I said, I was not expecting the S-Class doing this. I'm expecting someone to be chauffeured and somebody backseat, cruising around. But anyway, I was like, all right, we'll do it. So we slow down, and there's no honking or anything. And all of a sudden, he just takes off. So when he takes off, guess what? I'm on it. I mean, I was probably like a second later, and like I said, I'm expecting the X5 to pick him back up and just yank him back in there, and it wasn't happening. So I'm going through the couple gears. I'm just like, all right, I'm pretty sure I'm in sport mode. Maybe I could have sport. I think I'm in sport mode, and I'm in automatic mode. I'm thinking, what's happening? Why is this car pulling me? And he's continuing to pull even after 100 miles an hour. He is still, holding me off. I mean, I get it. A jump, someone gets a jump on you, you're not gonna immediately just take him away. But for some reason, this guy held me off for pretty good. And then finally, I'd say probably about 120-ish, I am pulling him in, I'm catching up, and then he nails the brakes. That's all right. So I was like, let's do it again. So anyway, he wants to do it again. I'm like, all right, we'll do it again. And we had no traffic in front of us. I mean, this is the most perfect scenario you can ever have. We hit it. This time I'm going to manual mode, and I'm going to Sport Plus, and I'm ready. So as soon as I hit the gas. Again, he jumps out, but this time I was ready for him. As soon as he hit next gear, I would say I catches him maybe he pulls me about to his back door, and at that point, tables turn. X5M is pulling him back in. And then right when you start seeing that, he hits the brakes. Nobody in front of him. Why hitting the brakes? Like, come on, stay in it. All right, fine. That's fine. That's fine with me. So anyway, he's like, let's do it again. All right. And I say we didn't talk about it, but it was like that signal where there's no traffic, but you just kind of pace the person and then slow down. It's almost like in that the unspoken word, hey, I want to do a run with you again. So I slowed down with him. And we did another one. I should have honked it off, but we didn't. It just happened. And when he did, when he took off, I was right there with him. And finally, he stayed in it, and I just pulled him. I pulled him probably about 1-2 car lengths, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. I was expecting just to yank this guy and pull him. So and of course, I get home. I looked at the specs, looked to see how much is the S550. Like, what's the quarter mile time? What's the 0 to 60 time? So the 0 to 60 time was 4.5. I don't think, okay, X5M on, a good launch, I'm probably about, 3.8. All right, so I should be a full second ahead of him, but all right, we'll see what the track speed is on a quarter mile. The track speed is 109. and I'm driving 115. I was surprised because 109, when you're talking about roll racing, the elapsed time doesn't mean different. So yeah, it's a 13-second car, but the X5 is a 12. But thing is, I'm looking at trap speed. So when you're always talking about roll, look at trap speeds. This tells you how fast a car is traveling at that quarter-mile mark. All right, it doesn't matter, and this is how you can separate cars that get a good launch versus cars that have a really good top end. And this is track speed. So for example, this Mercedes has a 109 mile an hour track speed. So at the quarter mile, it's traveling 109 miles an hour. And the quarter mile for me, I'm about 115 with my tune. So in theory, when you're talking about 6 miles an hour, that's a huge gap. That's a healthy pull. So he should not have been pulling me. I wonder if he had something done to it, or because I was like, I know my X5 with draggy, so is running appropriate, but that was pretty good. Or it could have been a AMG debadge, but I don't think it was because the exhaust. I think an S class owner would not go through all the trouble to make it look like a 550. But yeah, that guy, he got me for a little bit until I took over. But yeah, just talk a little bit more about the quarter mile time is when you see the track speeds. It gives you an idea what's happening in a roll race. So let's say you got two cars. One runs a 12.8 at 107 miles an hour. And you got another one that runs a 13.2 at 115 miles an hour. So between the quarter mile mark, obviously the 12.8 car is going to win. It's going to beat the 13.2 car. But at the quarter mile mark, the 13.2 car is going a lot faster. So if you see the two cars racing side by side, you're going to see that gap being closed to the point where it's going to catch him. And usually by the end of the quarter mile, he's probably caught him, if not pulled anymore. So then when you put the two cars side by side, say from a 40 roll, the advantage is going to go to the 13.2 car because it has the higher top end. Hope that makes sense. All right, next run. This one caught me up unexpected. This was a BMW i8. Never seen these owners really step on it. Don't see many of them on the road. So the counter one at a stoplight, and then to have the owner just take off. It caught me. Maybe it was like, whoa, what's happening right now? But I was leaving work again, and we were going down, a little surface street. It was called a little stoplight, and looked over at the owner, and he kind of went through traffic, kind of darted out traffic to catch up to me. And I thought to myself, but whatever. He's probably going fast. Probably joined his car. Nice day outside. He had the top down, and it was only when light turned green, and I took off. He took off, and my foot rolled down to the floor, and then I realized we were like side by side, if not him staying about a car length ahead of me. And it stayed that way till a little over 60 miles an hour where finally I'd hit the brakes and just let him go. And I was thinking, that sucked, like I wasn't fully expecting that to happen. But all right, let me just next time make it next light, and I'm like, we'll try again. So next light, he had looked over at the driver. Driver had a little smirk on his face, had a little hat. I don't know if he's having a good time or he just thought that he was just going to beat me out of his line. But I knew, like I said, X5 0-60 3.8. Now I wouldn't launch it, but I'll make sure that he's not going to pull me like he did last time. So we take off, and light turns green. And this time in Sport Plus, lifting in drive, I'm not doing any automatic. I'm just letting the transmission do the shifting itself, just to avoid me hitting rev limiter. And pull off, and that X5 pulled probably a good car length on that guy, and I held him off to about a little over 60 miles an hour, and I backed off, and that was it. And he gave me a thumbs up. He was a cool dude. He told me that his car is all electric, which I knew that already, but he it was impressive that electric cars are it's the future, right? This is what we're going to be up against here soon. All our gasoline cars are. But like I said, I'm surprised that I'm happy that I was able to do this to one. Like I said, it's kind of revenge against that Model 3 that got me the other night. Caught me off guard, and that wasn't my stock tune. But yeah, that was it. I was gonna do another one, but then when I pulled the footage, it didn't look as good. But nothing with the M3. Maybe I had one. I might have had a Tesla Model Y Performance try me, but it didn't end well for them. It didn't end well. But like I said, thanks for watching these videos. I know you guys like these, so I thought I'd share my story, and we'll keep you guys updated for the next ones. Thank you.